County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc, love the kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
Where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on our other shows, Plays and Parlays, UFC with LT, The Friday Fix, and Civil Discourse. Hello, Senior Wesley. How are you these wild days in America?
Man, I'm always pretty good, man. Today I'm especially good, but I'm happy that certain things are occurring that were not occurring here recently. But I'm all right. How about yourself, man?
I'm just watching the world burn with marshmallows.
Do you really feel like the world is burning right now, or do you feel like you think people are starting to wake up a little bit?
I think yes, the world is burning. It's the hottest day ever recorded in Florida for some odd reason that made news. The Midwest is underwater.
Yeah,
the Middle East is getting bombed all over. Cambodia and Thailand are fighting.
There was a lot of flooding going on over the last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of flooding.
Wildfires
I've noticed that.
everywhere.
It's been crazy, man. They had typhoons in China. There's been a lot of really weird, especially occurring with water. You know what I mean? So that's telling us there's an overabundance of water, probably from some of the ice glaciers melting away, pushing it. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a weather specialist, but it just seems like there's been a overly abundant amount of flooding going on everywhere.
Well, I was watching this movie the other day or yesterday, and a guy said it. He was like, look, every species that's ever been on Earth has been wiped out. You know what I'm saying? For some odd reason, except, and it's like we're no different. He's like, when the Earth gets tired of us, they'll shake us off too. And it's kind of seeming like it's doing it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people always think, like, you watch movies and you always think, oh, it'll happen in a day or 2 days. No, it's slow moving. That's why, our government's getting rid of climate change, because they want to try to ignore it, but you can't ignore it. Hurricane season is about to hit. It's going to be the most devastating thing about it. 30% of America is going to be uninhabitable in less than 4 years.
Jesus Christ, bro. That's a pretty bold prediction right there. In less than what part are you looking at right
Okay, so the coastal lines of California, as you've already seen, the fire and water damage insurance won't insure that. The Midwest from monstrous tornadoes, and part of the South from flooding. Think about Florida's going to be gone. Los Angeles is going to be gone.
I can't disagree with, especially, you say California, you got the Florida thing going on, and you do have a lot of major weather events going on in the Midwest. So it's hard to disagree with I hope it doesn't happen so quickly. That's quick. 4 years. Those people are already buying that property up right now. You got the corporations buying that property.
Buy whatever
up.
you want, as long as but they can make those weather machines that'll actually just make the weather change if they want to. But think about Los Angeles. The insurance companies are showing you these places are uninhabitable because they're like, look, we're not going to keep insuring you. You became a natural disaster.
Do you think that they're not going to insure corporations? Because I think corporations are going to build the buildings differently, and what they're also going to do is make sure that there is more fireproof. You know what I mean?
Well, corporations have the money to do whatever. Like, say, corporations are going to come in, they're going to raise the land up.
They're going to make sure the vegetation that they have there is off enough to where it will not,
or they're going to put enough trees in there and put those they have the buildings now where they put the plants all over them and they keep them cool. They can do all that stuff. They can do that for normal people. They just don't want to do it with your broke ass.
Trump breaking with Netanyahu acknowledges real starvation in Gaza. President Donald Trump on Monday said he will work with European allies to set up food centers in Gaza, disagreeing with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu assessment that there is no starvation in the war-torn strip. Based on television, those children look very hungry, Trump said, but we're giving a lot of money and a lot of food, and other nations are now stepping up. Trump later added, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. The president's remarks, which came during a bilateral meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Trump's golf resort in Turnberry. We're far more critical of Netanyahu's strategy than he were just a few days ago when he left for his trip to Scotland. They also come as Israel faces growing condemnation from some of the U.S. closest allies. Even as Trump again dismissed the idea of recognizing Palestine's state, he seemed unbothered by European allies doing so. More than 200 members of the British Parliament signed a letter Friday calling for the immediate recognition of Palestinian state. Stormar last week said that the suffering and starvation unfolding in Gaza is unspeakable and indefensible, and called statehood the inalienable right of the Palestinian people. French President Emmanuel Macron last week announced that France would recognize the state of Palestine. The United Kingdom, France, Germany also issued a joint statement Friday calling for an end to the war and for Israel to lift restrictions on the flow of aid. Trump on Monday repeated his concerns that some of the food aid was stolen by Hamas, though multiple media outlets have debunked or cast doubt on that claim. On Saturday, as criticism intensified and images of dead and malnourished children were shared around the world, Israel Defense Forces announced aid airdrops will begin Saturday evening and that humanitarian corridors for United Nations convoys will be open. But Israel has continued to contend that there is no starvation and that such claims were being propagated by Hamas. Trump, however, appeared unnerved by images he'd seen. I see it, and you can't fake that, Trump said, so we're going to be even more involved. Starmer has not put a timeline on when the UK would recognize the state of Palestine, but he told Trump on Monday that what's happening in Gaza is an absolute catastrophe. I think people in Britain are revolted at what they're seeing on their screens, Starmer said. We've got to get that ceasefire, and thank you, Mr. President, for leading on that, and also just getting more aid in as well.
Yeah, no, we reported on the starvation last week, what's going on over there. And I mean, someone probably just held their phone up to Trump and showed him a couple pictures because he was disgusted. I was disgusted when I saw it.
Yeah, man.
And then to say, oh, they're like, hey, no one is starving. They're like, yeah, I just had a taco yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Just the pictures that you made, I mean, you got to look at YouTube made our videos unmonetizable. And I'm not mad about that. I don't even care. I put them out anyways. We could have went back and took those pictures off and made it so that we can monetize on those pictures. But I wanted you to see that. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? To me, those videos are long form, unmonetizable, the whole nine. To me, I don't care. It's not about money or anything like that for me when it comes to that.
It's about letting the people know what's really going on.
Man. Those pictures that you put up were like, man, I mean, it was almost hard. It was hard for me to watch, man.
Yeah, it was hard. I was looking them up as we were doing the video, and I almost started, tearing up because it's so sad. They put these people in now imagine this, folks. They have the Palestinian people are in a fenced-in area. They're in concentration camps being starved to death. What does that sound like? Where have we heard this in history? And now you hear about that. Look, people being in cages, being starved to death. And then people are like, there's no gas chambers. It doesn't matter. They're in the hot sun starving to death.
I mean, what the gas chamber at the end of the day is them. You haven't seen them being shot at when they're trying to crawl for food aid, when they're being killed. I'm hearing 60 people died today. This many people died this day. That's the gas chamber right there. You don't realize that? That's the gas chamber right there.
The parts where they'll put the aid there. They'll be like, all right, go and get it. And they'll let them all run there, and then they'll start shooting at them.
Or they'll blow them up, or something else. I mean, you guys act like this is a game. You got American troops who said that they've watched them do this. You know what I mean? Well, cars will be driving away, and they'll just blow up the car. You know what I mean? This is it's gotten to the point where it's just so horrific. And then at the same time, you're starving people out. Like that's what you're doing. You're acting like there's such a big war going on with Hamas, and there's not, man. You're just basically trying to take their land. That's what you're doing. You're taking their land, killing their people, and trying to make them suffer so much that they want to leave, that they have to leave. Oh, there's not enough people here anymore. They just left. No, they didn't just leave. You killed them. You don't need, I mean, at the end of the day, tell you what would be easier how to get Hamas, let people go back to their everyday lives, and then keep your troops in there. Keep your troops in there if you need to. Do what you need to do.
No, I don't think the IDF doesn't need to be around.
No. I'm not saying that they should be killing people. Yeah, I know. But at the end of the day, I want people to start. What they want to do is just drive you out anyways, and act like they're not trying to drive you out, and they're doing that. I'd rather them say, you know what, let's pretend that we're trying to get things back to normal, son, because they're not going to just move out. They're not just going to leave, bro. They're not going to leave. Even with a ceasefire. They won't.
Why would you leave? That's your home. You know, so even though they bombed
I'm not talking about the Palestinians. Yeah. I'm talking about the IDF. I'm talking about the Israel, period.
Well, you saw France came out. France was like, yo, we recognize your state. We recognize the Palestinian state.
But at the same, is that going to change what those that's going on in the West Bank, though? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Is that going to make them leave the West Bank? No, they're not going to leave the West Bank. They're going to stay there. They're going to start taking up parts of Palestine. They've already probably encroached upon the Gaza Strip. Yeah, you know what I mean? So nothing's going to get them. They're not going to leave. So there needs to be some type of a ceasefire agreement, which says, okay, you can keep troops here until they get themselves back. Because right now they don't have a government. They have nothing going on there. It's just basically rubble. So you have to secure something because
I've seen the pictures. It is rubble.
Rubble. They know it too. That's why they're doing it for. So you can tear everything down. They said they have a trash, there's probably multiple of these though. That's like, it's all in meters and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not really adapt to that, but it was just huge. It's like tall as hell, like buildings tall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just that runs as long as hell. So just imagine what kind of filth and disease is building up, because we don't think about those type of things. All that feces, all that has to go somewhere. Like, where is it going? They don't have bathrooms. There's nothing going on here at all. It's sad, man. At the end of the day, they said that they're going to do like a 10-hour window a day or something where they can allow airdrops and food to come in. But I don't trust that either, man. I don't trust you got AIDS.
The UN ultimately needs to step in and go there and keep their own troops there.
And that's who needs to be in there. You're correct when it comes to that. That's who needs to be in there. It needs to be the UN. The IDF needs to leave.
Because they're letting the IDF tell you lies. Like, oh, yeah, they're getting food. Hamas is. There is no Hamas. Hamas is gone. They ain't got no guns. They're all in cages.
Yeah, I mean,
how's Hamas still an army when everyone's in cages starving right now? How you find that? You find a one-sided war.
Absolutely, man.
You're creating your own Holocaust. It's the Gaza cost now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there's no other way to put it, man. Like I say, it's a sad situation, and we're going to keep reporting on it as much as we possibly can, because people are starving as we're sitting here talking, enjoying our lives, living our everyday lives. There's people across the world being killed, massacred, maimed all day, every day. This is what's going. This is their life, man. What do you think that's creating? We talk about people going through trauma here. Oh, this person was whooped in their home for this many years, or this happened over here. These people are watching their families murdered, maimed, gunfire all day, being blown up all around them. What do you think that you're creating? And they're going to be mad in 10 years from now.
They had the video of the lady. She left her home just to go get some food. She came back and her home was bombed. All her kids were killed.
What do you think you're creating? Do you think 10 years from now, when those kids grow up, what do you think they're going to be? You call them animals, you're creating animals. Just like Tupac said, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you say? The hate you gave, babies. You know what I'm saying? The hate, period. Like, what do you think that you are creating here? What do you think you would make ask yourself, if your family was murdered, or your sisters, brothers, or whoever else were maimed, blown up in front of you, and you grew up to become grown, how would you feel? What would you become?
Yeah. Democratic PAC launches funds going after Texas GOP for redistricting. A House Democratic Super PAC is looking to raise tens of millions of dollars to challenge Texas Republicans next year as the GOP looks to redraw congressional maps in the state in a bid to offset losses in the 2026 midterm. House Majority PAC announced on Monday it's creating a Lone Star Fund that is vying to raise upward of $20 million to target gerrymander GOP House districts if Texas Republicans redraw their lines. The Super PAC notes it's using a multi-pronged approach, including advertising efforts to reach low propensity voters, growing its recruitment fund.
Propensity?
Yes, recruitment fund, and investing more in targeting Hispanic voters. President Trump is looking to gain 5 House seats in Texas, with legislators convening in Austin for a special session that will address redistricting, among other items. Midterms have historically been unkind to president's parties in power, and Republicans are bracing for a challenging election cycle next year. Texas moves to reconsider its House lines have prompted blue states to leave the door open to initiatives initiating similar moves. California is so far the only state weighing 2 different options for moving forward with redrawing their own lines in response to Texas. Ohio is the only state that was expected to do redistricting this year, given the maps they used in 2020 did not have bipartisan support. Republicans are hoping to net several seats from the new maps there. So the reason we do this article is it's been here for a while, but the reason we're doing it, I'm letting you know, this is how you steal elections. Right? They know the Republicans know they're going to have a bad midterm. You know what I'm saying? They know Trump's policies are bad. It's not working out, right? So what they're doing is they're going to try to redistrict and take black neighborhoods and put them into other ones like they did in Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And basically get rid of the black vote. That's what they're doing right there. But then it'll give the Republicans still a majority in the House. And so basically it's how you steal an election.
You'll gain 5 seats. You're gaining 5 seats by doing this right there. And this, it's crazy because they're doing it. And so, who's on the other hand, we have a place that can do it as well, which is California. So California's talking about doing it.
Gavin Newsom he said, game on.
Is this the way that we want to run America? When Trump, your president, comes out and saying we can gain 5 seats by redistricting and doing this, like basically stealing votes. It's weird, man, like stealing seats. It's a weird thing for them to do, man.
Well, they don't have popular policies. That's just what it is, bro. Like none of their policies are popular. Like they have to do this. They have to steal seats. They have to rig the game, as they say, because it's not working for them. They know their policies and the way that they want to do things aren't working. Some lady pointed that out the other day. She was like, the reason Republican states are poor is because you're racist and misogynist. You don't want nothing. You don't want to do infrastructure. You have poor areas. You have poor healthcare. You don't want to raise your minimum wage because you don't want to do it because you think it's fine the way it is because you're scared that progress and liberals are going to come move in there. Nobody wants to live around y'all.
I was talking to my cousin today. He's originally from New Orleans. He was saying they have like 2 hospitals for like 300,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
Like 2 hospitals. I'm like, man, that's pretty much, I'm sure they got clinics and other things like that of that nature. But I'm like, that's because you live, like there's just a deep red state. You guys are, one of the last in education and healthcare. That's just what that is. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it goes. You don't want to take care of your people, but you want to sit back and talk about people, these welfare queens and all the other stuff. But your state's really the ones taking up all the government, subsidies and all the money is going to your state. So but you guys have been fooled to believe that something's going on that's not going on. I watched this lady. I'm not sure. She was like from Arkansas or something like that. She was basically saying that, hey, we got 58 million. They're taking out like $54 million from our state to send over to Israel. You saw that article?
They said, look, Israel gets billions of dollars and they all get free healthcare over there, right? And it's our money. Yeah. It's your American tax money. Think about it, even in Texas, they were doing that. Homeboy, he was a great guy. It's like, you can't stop sending money to Israel. Think about it. A foreign country
forced them.
Gets your money so they can go starve people out and get free healthcare and free
education. You know what I mean? And so this lady was like, she's a doctor. She was like, hey, out here, people vote red. People vote, for Republicans out here. But our roads, our infrastructure is all jacked up. Everything out here is bad.
I saw that.
You saw her. Yeah. I'm gonna say she's like, but we're giving $58 million to Israel. Why are we doing that? We could use that money here. We got teachers being fired. There's, all kinds of stuff going on negative for us. But we're steadily, I won't say, to giving our money to a country that really doesn't have our best interest at heart. Period. Plain and simple. I don't think they have, anyone's best interest at heart except for their very own.
They actually let our criminals escape. People don't realize, like, if somebody's wanted, just like Jeffrey Epstein was able to do it too, if somebody's wanted for sex trafficking or sexual assault on a child or a minor, they can flee to Israel.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And be safe over there. There's actually
no extradition laws.
Yeah. So there's a number of sex offenders that have fled
Jeffrey
America.
Epstein did that. They said over 60 other ones since the time he did it have done it. And they said a bunch of them have reoffended since they're over there. I mean, like we don't want to, we don't want to harp on that. But the fact of the matter is, like, right now in our country by itself, we have our Supreme Court who's far red right now, Supreme Court. We have a president who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I want to say what he said about don't know what they're doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a horrible president. And now he's trying to rig.
He's going through dementia. We're watching in real time. And they're like, he's there sometimes, and sometimes he's not. You can tell by the way he talks. He doesn't remember anything. He doesn't know what he's doing. He goes off, subject so much. He has early stage dementia. He's too old to be president, just like Joe Biden was.
One thing I want to say, like, I know how you always say that Democrats are weak. You say that not, but a lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. That's just, it is what it is. It's the ideology that they believe works is the whole let's try to make agreement. Everyone has to speak softly. But let me finish. But the fact of the matter is, if they let them get away with this, taking these 5 seats, and they don't do anything about this, there's a problem. That's when you have to start looking at yourself. Look, do you really want to win? I'm a winner. And if I don't ride with losers. I don't just ride. They say vote blue no matter. I don't do all that. But I normally do if I understand the consequences of not doing it. But you better have the right kind of policies. You better have some kahunas in order to stop stuff like this from happening and want to fight when it's time to fight.
That's what they said. They're going to raise a PAC and raise $20 million. So Gavin Newsom's the only person that got guts to do something about it. And, got to stand up for yourself. But some of the Democrats is cool with whatever's going on. They don't care as long as they get I realize that. As long as they get to keep their power, I don't really care because they kind of they agree with the most of the stuff that's going on.
Yep, they do. I mean, they're damn near Republicans. A lot of them are just pretend to be Democrats because it fits their narrative. What we know about Michigan Walmart stabbings as suspect faces terrorism charge. 11 people were injured Saturday after a 42-year-old man stormed into Michigan Walmart and began stabbing shoppers in what authorities call a random attack. The victims, ages 29 to 84, were taken to the hospital in connection with the incident that occurred in Traverse City, a Munson healthcare spokesperson said. One customer described hearing commotion a few aisles over as she picked up items, still shaking from the incident. Julia Martell said she fled down an aisle as the suspect barreled past someone and angled toward me. I'm still sitting and grappling with the weight of realizing that it was kind of a life or death moment, she said. The suspect, Bradford James Gilly, was subdued by shoppers and taken into custody when a deputy arrived. He faces charges of assault with intent to murder and terrorism, authorities said. Who is Bradford James Gilly? Sheriff's deputies in Emmett County, Michigan, were searching for Gilly on Friday evening and Saturday morning after receiving a court order instructing deputies to take him into custody. The details of the court order are unclear. Deputies could not locate Gilly, who was homeless with no known physical address in Emmett County, according to the order. Regrettably, less than 24 hours after receiving the order, a tragic series of events occurred in Traverse City, the sheriff's office said in a Monday Facebook post. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone involved in this devastating situation. Gilly has prior record assault incidents and controlled substance violations, Grand Traverse County Sheriff Michael D. Shea said at a Sunday news conference. Dude looks like a crazy dude right here.
Yeah, and shout out to Derek Perry. He was the law-abiding citizen that had a gun on him and held the stabber at gunpoint until the police got there. So I just want to say thank you, Derek Perry, for being that. You know, in West, I tell you, that's why I carry my gun on me all the time. Because at the end of the day, you can't stop crazy. If people expect the police to be or crime prevention. No, they're law enforcement, and they get there to stop crime in action. But the thing is, as citizens these days in America, I tell you, carry my gun on me all the time. I have concealed weapons carry from the county and everything. Something else you need to read?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just saying, people, you should be armed. At least if you don't like a gun, have mace, have a pepper spray gun. You just never know when people are crazy and you can't stop it. Whenever they want to do something, this guy stabbed 11 people before they stopped.
They had a court order before the incident. Saying they're not telling you what was in the court order. I wonder if it's like a matter of like something that they should have dealt with, and they don't want to say it because it puts them in a situation to where now they're culpable for what happened. Did he make threats? He's a homeless dude, so it's not like he had, you know what I mean? Like
he wasn't going far. He's like, my house is over there in the corner.
But what I'm saying, like, this is a homeless dude. So what made you have to put a court order out to go after him for his arrest? What happened? Did he break his probation? Was he on probation? Like, what is this court order about? Why don't you want to tell people what the court order was for? Did he make a threat to someone and tell them that he was going to go and do something like this? And you did not tell the public, huh?
Get a court order for his arrest.
Yeah, like before this incident even happened, like the day 24 hours before this, they had put out a court order for his arrest. He's homeless, so they didn't know where to catch him at. But they won't tell you why. They're not telling you what the court order is for. Maybe it came out by now, but this is brand new article right here. So obviously something's going on to where they knew something was going on.
There was a man out here that happened to him similar. He went to the hospital he went to the hospital trying to get help. They didn't want to help him. He saw the police there at the hospital and he asked them, he's like, hey, take me in. I'm having a mental episode. I need some help. Mm-hmm. And the cops are like, just get away from me. Go on. So he's like, all right, walks from the hospital, walks to 7-Eleven, stab somebody.
And so right then and there, that's a lawsuit. That's what they're not trying to put out this information for, because he might have said, you know what, I'm going to go on. I'm about to go on a rampage. It might not have been the first time he said something like this. You know what I mean? But this time he took, 11 people. It took a crowd of people to gather around him pretty much. I think one dude had a gun.
It was Derek Perry. He was the one that had the gun.
He pulled the burner out.
He had the burner out.
He wasn't playing about this.
Homeboy put the knife away. I mean, the video here we have it playing here for you guys.
Yeah,
he put the knife away after the guy whipped the gun out and stuff because they're holding him. They're holding him till the police got there. But like I said, you can't stop crazy. Just like today there was a mass shooting in Reno. There was one in Atlanta. You can't stop crazy. The only thing you can do is
be prepared.
Be prepared.
I mean, like you're right about that, man. People do. He stabbed 11 people, man.
That's a lot of people. Think about it. You stab 11 people, and out of all, he still made it outside where a guy had a gun to hold him hostage. Like. Not hostage, but to hold him until the police.
I would have shot him if it was me. Out of
I'm in the store, bro. I take my gun. I have it sitting next to me on the toilet.
No, but it's crazy because that's what people really believe that America is all about. People really believe America's like the Wild Wild West. Like you walk outside.
It is. No, it's not the Wild West, bro. You have to realize we don't have a lot of stuff to help people with mental health. We don't have a lot of places, a lot of medication to help people with anything. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
what Trump's saying.
What?
He's like, hey, he's trying to make it illegal to be homeless.
Yeah, he is.
He's trying to make it so that every city has to clean up their homeless. Excuse me. Every city has to clean up their homeless situation. Like, hey, I want all homeless off the street.
And check out.
Where are they going to go?
They're going to force them. No, they're going to force them into treatment. They're going to you either go to jail, you go to treatment, or you go to a facility. They're going to force them. They're forcing these people to go now.
He just gave up like 600. Now think about what he's saying. People are going to say, "Oh, that's not true." Man, listen, they're about to give states like $608 million to build detention centers for the migrants.
Hey,
so once they get them out of there.
And remember, I told you earlier about the migrants. What they're going to do? I was like, they're going to put all these people in slavery because what they're doing, they're hitting them with fines. It's $1,000 a day for every day you're in America illegally. So now you're gonna have this big old fine. You're gonna have to pay it off.
Work it off.
You're gonna have to work it off. I told you they're gonna make them.
It's a setup, man. It's a whole setup. Yeah. Now they're gonna have the facilities. They said that Florida's already getting their money for the facilities. They're gonna have the facilities. Now with the facilities, once they're out of here, they can put the homeless people in the facilities. It's a cold plan they got for us, man. I don't think you guys are paying attention, man. This could be for any of us at the end of the day. We talk about how there won't be FEMA these camps coming.
How long do you get to be homeless before they lock you up too? You might lose your place, right? You got 30 days. You got 30 days.
The prices is going up right now.
Don't let me catch you sleeping in that car or arrest you, put that up for auction, take the money. Oh, my God.
You ain't even a criminal, brother. You're not even a criminal.
What if you walk at
tough times?
What if you just pass out on a park bench on accident? You old. Listen, you wait.
Now you're on probation. Now you're on probation. You can't get a job. You got a crowd. You got a record. You got. It's man. They're really trying to set us up, bro. Like
they look at your record like, oh, you've been arrested for homelessness. So we should give your broke ass a job.
Or do you have a home now?
I know some homeless people.
You got a place to go now.
You know what they do? They sleep in their car. They find somewhere to sleep. Right, and they go work out, and then they shower at Planet Fitness.
Yep. Hey, you say that in San Francisco, they said there's no more RV parking. People will park up along the side of highways like long caravans in their RVs. It's a done deal. You guys are about to have to find somewhere else to go. You have to keep driving now, bro.
The local park down here, I didn't realize they stopped letting people stay the night over there because the homeless were staying there.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so many homeless people. But Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted Jeffrey Epstein associate, makes pitch to Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court should hear Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal of her 2021 sex trafficking conviction because the government has an obligation to honor a non-prosecution agreement with Jeffrey Epstein that inoculated Maxwell from any criminal charges, her lawyers argue in a brief to the Supreme Court Monday.
Damn.
Plea and non-prosecution agreements resolve nearly every federal case. They routinely include promises that extend to others, co-conspirators, family members, potential witnesses. If those promises mean different things in different parts of the country, then trust in your systems collapses, the brief said. Federal prosecutors have argued that the non-prosecution agreement applied only in Florida and did not bind New York, where charges against him and subsequently Maxwell were brought. Maxwell's attorneys argued the terms of the NPA Epstein signed were unqualified. It is not geographically limited to the Southern District of Florida. It is not conditioned on the co-conspirators being known by the government at the time. It does not depend on what any particular government attorney may have had in his or her head about who might be a co-conspirator, and it contains no other caveat or exception. This should be the end of the discussion, the defense brief said. The Justice Department has argued the Supreme Court has urged the Supreme Court to reject Maxwell's petition, even as Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche agreed to meet with Maxwell last week. Prosecutors have argued Maxwell cannot enforce the NPA because she was not a party to it. The defense disagreed. Petitioners' alleged status as Epstein's co-conspirator was the entire basis of her prosecution, the defense brief said. So basically, let's get back into this is more of a technical side of what she's going through with the Supreme Court. But then you have a person like Todd Blanche, who was Trump's personal attorney. This dude, now he's like the second in command at the Department of Justice. You have Pam Bondi, then you got Todd Blanche. This dude was Trump's personal attorney. So what does that give him? Attorney-client privilege. So who do you send in there to go talk to Pam Bondi?
Oh no, to
Giselle. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Who do you send there to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell?
Your personal attorney.
Your personal attorney, the person who cannot tell them anything that they say, or if she's sitting there saying, well, I got some stuff on Trump. He can't ever say nothing about it.
She named 100 people already.
Yeah, he can never say anything about it because I have attorney-client privilege with Trump. You don't send in anyone else. You don't send in just the people who you would regularly send in to talk to people. You send in the guy who you understand that he has attorney-client privilege with you and he cannot divulge what was being said. It's a masterful stroke. And at the same time, now he's talking about, I can pardon her. I haven't thought about it. No one's come at me and told me that. It's inappropriate for me to talk about right now because it would be, because it would show basically a bias for you talking to her, and then talking about pardoning her would show a bias. But you've already shown the bias. You've already shown everybody exactly what's going on by you sending your person to even go talk to her before the Senate. Before the House talks to her.
I mean, they've already discovered too. Trump has funneled over $1.5 billion to Jeffrey Epstein.
Trump?
Yeah, Trump, through 4,715 wire transfers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They got that's a lot of money.
That's a huge. He had a lot of money.
Kitty Tang.
He's had a lot of money funneled to him through different people, though. We have to understand a lot of people were involved with this whole entire system of what he had going on. So we really, there's a lot. There's talk of like. They have Trump on so many different things where it's like Trump. They said something about him going to see. He was kicked out of like a Atlantic City casino or something. Him and Epstein were kicked out for having underage girls with him. People magazine came out with an article on that. I was watching this other podcast where they talked about. There's so much stuff that's involved with Trump.
At the end of the day,
underage girls.
It's there.
There's a lot, man.
It's there. People know.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it's either you're with sexual assault against minors or you're not. That's basically what it is. There's no, well, why didn't the Biden administration do it? It doesn't matter. You need to understand, this is what it is. Either you're okay with it or you're not. And that's it. And stand your ground on it. I don't want to hear nothing else about it from nobody. I don't care if Bill Clinton's on there, Donald Trump's on there, whoever's on there needs to go down.
All of them. This is not a partisan issue. I watched a guy on Aaron Burnett's show on CNN, CNN, right? This guy came out and said he saw a picture. Epstein showed him a photograph of Donald Trump with girls, he said, of an indeterminate age. He didn't want to say they look, but he's like, if you say indeterminate age, they ain't grown. He said that they were all topless and Trump had a stain on his pants. They were all looking at the stain, laughing at Trump with the stain on his pants. And he has multiple photos of this stuff going on in his house. Says Epstein had a lot of, pictures of all kinds of stuff like this. This dude talked about this on you can go check it out. Aaron Burnett, CNN. She talked about this with this fella who has a very he's interviewed Epstein, has a whole entire interview of Epstein. You know that Steve Bannon, the first person when Trump kicked him out of the White House, who did he go interview right after he kicked him out of the White House?
Who?
Jeffrey Epstein. The first place he went was to go interview Jeffrey Epstein. It's like he did it for a reason. You kicked me out of the White House. You know who I'm going to go see? Because he already knew.
He knows.
Because he knew this was the information.
But some of them are okay. That to them, that's part of their culture, their heritage.
I won't even say. This one. Know what I believe?
Yeah.
But he's doing the same thing that Israelis are doing. He's doing the same thing that everyone else is doing with these people. He's holding it as a carrot. I don't care. I know that Elon's out of here. I'm not out of here because I know about you. So if you try to play me funny, you know what's going to happen right here. You better make sure you always keep me close. Do you remember on Set It Off? She tapped her pocket like this.
She had the ID.
He tapped their pocket like this because they all know the truth. Why would you go interview Jeffrey Epstein right after Trump kicks you out of his basically out of his White House? Why?
And Epstein was arrested under Trump, killed under Trump.
The whole nine. They got rid of him. He was like, he didn't have no problem with it.
And someone who was coming out there like, yo, Maxwell, she was in charge. That's what they're saying. She was in charge. She had the connection.
She was the one. Her dad was the Mossad agent. Her dad was. Both of these two people right here, Maxwell and Epstein, are both a part of. Look at their background. Look at who they are. Where did he run to? Who's her dad part of?
It always leads back to the same culprit.
It's a strange, kind of a twisted thing that we're watching here. But
Yeah. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's uncommon courtesy. Until next time.